que là, notre prochaine étape va être ici. Vu qu'on a l'arc et nos réponses. En passant, on était dans un temple de Déméter. Le temple de la mère de Perséphone, c'est-à-dire Proserpine. Et on n'a plus besoin de parler à Aurélia. J'arrête pas d'aller plus vite que ce que les quêtes demandent, mais c'est pas grave.
A visitor.
Ça aurait pas dit grand chose de toute façon. Bon, on peut lui parler.
Welcome, welcome. May I ask your name?
Ah, je m'appelle
It's
Frank.
a sincere pleasure to meet you. Tell me, what brings you all the way down
Hey,
here?
tu m'as pas dit t'es qui. Je cherche Kabash.
Ah, Kabash. I know this man. He came through here some weeks ago.
Oh,
I will tell you everything I know. But first, a request.
possiblement encore vivant.
I've been living
Okay.
down here alone for many years, with nobody to talk to but myself. The one thing I long for above all else before I die is a good philosophical argument with somebody
Okay,
astute.
let's go.
I'm hoping that person is you.
Ah oui, c'est moi.
Let us find out with this simple question. Have you deduced the name of the god responsible for the golden rule?
Pluto.
Excellent. I see you are indeed quite astute. Very few come to that realization before their time in the sun is over. Now, will you join me in a friendly Socratic dialogue? Good
Yes,
enough
sir.
for me. Now, let me begin with a question. Would you say you know the difference between right and wrong?
Pas certain, c'est trop complexe.
You are an overthinker too. We're the same then. It is probably why I became a philosopher. But if you struggle with right and wrong normally, then down here with the golden rule, surely your struggle can only have become more difficult. Well, that's reassuring. And the truth is, you're not alone. You see, out there in the world, being uncertain about right and wrong was acceptable because our mistakes rarely had consequences. So we would tell lies and bend rules and turn a blind eye and rationalize, and yet still find a way to think of ourselves as good people. But under the golden rule, morality matters. The slightest wrongdoing could result in a mass execution. So to navigate this maze, we would have to be certain about the difference between right and wrong. Wouldn't you agree?
Ben c'est ça, mais c'est pas nécessairement... C'est une règle, mais qui est pas décidée par nous autres. On se la fait juste appliquer.
That is an excellent question, and it leads directly to my next line of inquiry. So let me ask you this. Is there one system of morality which is always perfectly correct, which you could follow in every situation and always do the right thing?
Nah.
Are you sure? Or is it possible that humans simply haven't figured out the right system yet?
Ça existe pas. C'est tout le temps une question de contexte.
So is it up to each of us to decide what right and wrong mean to us individually? Or must we simply follow the laws and customs of whichever community we're in? You know, I think you'd find an ally in Herodotus, a scribe from among my people who lived some 400 years
Façon
ago.
de s'adapter,
He
d'accepter
told the
comment
story
vivre.
of a man named Darius,
On amène des changements
whose
dans ces
curiosity
lois-là,
was
puis dans la
piqued
culture.
when he learned that a certain tribe
Parce
had
que si
the
tout le monde
practice
décide
of
pour eux-mêmes,
eating their dead.
ça sera un peu le
He
chaos.
asked some Greeks who burnt their dead, "What would it take for you to eat your dead?" Aghast, they replied, "Nothing." Then he asked the tribe who ate their dead, "What would it take for you to burn your dead?" "Nothing," they replied, equally aghast. From this, Herodotus concluded that custom is king, that right and wrong are merely local ideas which do not survive the journey from one tribe to another. I take it you're in agreement?
Yep.
Then let me ask you this. If you visited a tribe where they ate each other, copulated with the dead and drank wine from cups made out of human skulls, would you still maintain that within such a tribe there is nothing wrong with such conduct?
Non, évidemment.
And that's a credit to you. It is the mark of a civilized person to change their position when presented with a superior argument.
C'est quoi ton point?
My point is this. I don't think anyone alive truly knows any hard and fast rules about right and wrong.
Effectivement.
If there is one thing I have observed about rules, it is that virtuous people do not need them, and evil people will always find a way around them. And so we must accept our limitations, and the sad truth that no human society will ever achieve the utopia for which it strives. In mathematics, we would call it an asymptote, a line that can be approached but never reached. Because the only way to create a utopia is with the ever-present threat of force, such as the Golden Rule. This and no other is the root from which a tyrant springs when he first appears as a protector. And life under tyranny is no utopia at all.
Effectivement, fait qu'on ça crée tout un contraste.
I'm glad to hear that. In any case, thank you for humoring an old man. I would be happy to answer your questions.
Ok, ton histoire?
You mean, how did I end up living alone in this cave with nothing but these relics of the past for company? It's a long story.
J'écoute.
I was a quarrelsome young man. At 19, I left Corinth for Rome to study rhetoric at one of her finest academies, so I could argue more forcefully. Back then, I used to enjoy verbally sparring with everyone I could, and I was good. One night, I found myself in a tavern in an argument with a drunk mercenary. It became heated, he drew a gladius, and I won the argument, but lost my life. I woke up on the banks of the Styx at a campfire opposite Karen. Of course, I tried to persuade her to let me return, but even with all my skill, I failed. I settled in, made friends, and learned what I could, quickly realizing our little community faced certain death under the Golden Rule. So I began looking for a place to hide underground. Fortunately, I found this place waiting for me. You see, I was not the first to take refuge here. I returned to my friends above, persuaded them to join me, and 12 of us descended for the last time to live out our days hidden from Hades' tyranny.
Yeah.
They are one and the same. The Romans call him Pluto, but long before that, my people called him Hades. My generation was wiped out, turned to gold, many years ago. My friends and I were able to avoid the same fate by hiding down here.
Damn.
I think it's safest to assume that if I was to return, Hades would realize that his furies hadn't finished the job, and he'd send them after me again.
Ça veut dire que la Golden Rule affecte personne ici. Ah. Une autre chose à essayer. C'est quoi ton
I
nom?
fear that if you were to utter my name in the city, even by mistake, that Hades would hear you and know I am still alive.
Oh, t'as
I'm
ça.
afraid I am the only one left. There were 12 of us in the beginning, but one by one, my friends passed away. Some from malnutrition, others from madness and despair. It has been lonely. Before my unexpected visit from Kabash some weeks ago, I'd not seen another person in many, many years.
T'as survécu
Living
comment?
in darkness is not without its challenges. The first challenge is diet. Fortunately, I found that eating fresh fish provides most of the nutrients I need. And sometimes, when there are Greek people living up above, I surface at night and salvage the offerings they've left in the temple of Demeter. The greater challenge is the isolation, so I like to imagine arguments, where I argue both sides. But, like so many things in life, arguments are better with a partner. As you wish.
Est-ce que c'est
Ha! If I did, would I be living like this?
Ok. Bon point.
Did we not discuss it at length already? Oh, I see. You're toying with me. Ha!
Est-ce que tu sais où est-ce que je peux trouver des plaques qui ont été enlevées de l'obélisque?
You seek the plaque bearing the Egyptian inscription. It is a cursed object, and I would be happy to give it to you, if Kabash had not already taken it.
Où est-ce
I
qu'il est
will
Kabash?
tell you, but you may find him hostile. To prepare for your encounter, there are certain things you must know. Very few know this, but before the Romans came to this city, it was once entirely Greek. The architecture, the temples, and the people. When the Romans came, in typical fashion, they claimed it as their own, built over everything that could be built over, and renamed the things that could not. Thus, the shrine of Persephone became the shrine of Proserpina. And when they found an obelisk bearing the name Hades, they tore it off and replaced it with Pluto instead. And the city's dwindling Greek residents, witnessing this compulsive Roman conquest, decided to preserve what they could of their heritage. They gathered their art and valuables, secreted them away through the temple of Demeter, and hid them here, out of reach of the Romans.
Yeah, je suis avec toi.
However, there was
encore.
one thing that always seemed out of place to me, and it is the very thing you seek. An even older plaque bearing an Egyptian inscription.
Ah, ça s'est
We
rangé
had
ici.
no idea until years later, when the first of my friends began to die. As a result of their deaths, we began to dig catacombs branching off from this cavern to lay them to rest. We extended the tunnel so far that we accidentally discovered another, an even older tunnel, which somebody had gone to great lengths to keep hidden. Suddenly it made sense why there was an out-of-place Egyptian plaque among our people's possessions. You see, we proud Greeks had thought the Romans beasts for stealing and corrupting our heritage. But it turns out this game has been going on much longer than any of us imagined. I think it is best you head through the catacombs and follow Kabash's trail. There are certain things you must see for yourself. Take this key. You'll need it to open the gate.
Ok. Wow. Oh.
I enjoyed our chat, but please, keep my presence here a secret, yes?
Ça aussi, je l'ai jamais essayé. De dévoiler l'ermite Ascensius. Ah, pas de problème. Ok. Donc, on va faire la partie avec Kabash, je crois, tout de suite. Yep. Let's go. Mais juste avant, j'ai fait une sauvegarde parce que si on a bien remarqué, il n'y a pas de statue. Hein.
Ah, you've returned.
La Golden Rule est pas affectée. Donc, aussitôt qu'il n'y a pas de statue, mais là, maintenant, il peut. Ou, il méritait déjà la mort. C'est déjà un condamné, fait que ça active pas la Golden Rule. Ça peut être ça. Mais, on va revenir à notre sauvegarde. Parce que je veux pas le tuer pour vrai, quand même. C'est... Ça serait pas très sain faire ça, quand même. Ok. Bon! Let's go, baby! Regarde-moi les ruines ici. Je me demande quelle génération ça représente. Regarde-moi ça. Ça, ben, c'est pas un romain ni un grec, hein? On voyait une petite différence. Ça se rendrait pas loin. La question... c'est pourquoi ceux-là bougent? Est-ce que c'est parce que vu qu'ils sont momifiés? Il a l'air invincible pas mal. Ok. Parce que ceux-là, ils n'ont pas eu d'expérience de Naevia. Voyons. Bon, on peut faire ça, mais petit secret pour tous. À savoir, ça vaut toujours la peine de fouiller, évidemment. Oh! Une statue égyptienne. Et donc, la quatrième plaque, notre objectif, c'est de définir c'est quoi la civilisation. Puis, s'il y en a qui s'y connaissent en histoire, moi je le savais pas avant, vous devriez déjà deviner. Mais ça fait longtemps en sapristi. Ça fait longtemps que j'ai pas dit sapristi en plus dans ma vie. Fait que ouais, on a un beau petit passage ici qui nous permet de passer par-dessus tout. La Sphinx. Ok. Je sais pas si c'est un... En tout cas, c'est des gardiens. Une petite sauvegarde supplémentaire.